Hi there, it's Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and we are going to talk about the hardest type of clutter to let go of. Now, let's face it, pretty much any decluttering is pretty tough, and most people think that the hardest type is sentimental, but I actually don't think that's the case, and I'm going to tell you what type of clutter is even harder and talk about some ways to deal with it. Before we dive in though, I want to make sure that you know inside the Get Organized HQ Insiders, which is our special membership, we are starting our decluttering challenge very, very soon if you're watching this video when it comes out. So be sure to click the link below and check that out if you're interested in getting some extra help and support with decluttering this month. Like I already mentioned, most people think that sentimental clutter is the hardest type to deal with. But in my book, that's actually the second hardest type. There is a type that is even harder, and I can't wait to hear from you after you hear this video if you agree with me. Now, anytime we get into clutter, such as sentimental clutter and a few other types, they're not purely practical. Like, we're not talking about our toilet bowl brush or our can opener. It gets a little bit tricky. There are emotions involved, and there are reasons to keep things that are far less black and white than, do I use this thing? But for me, the hardest type of clutter is what I call aspirational clutter. So those are things that you are holding on to either because it's the type of person that you were or the type of person that you want to be, that you wish you were. And to me, that pulls at my heartstrings even more than some of the sentimental hand-me-downs or drawings that my kids made for me, is that I wish I were this kind of person. And one of the things that makes this type of clutter so hard to get rid of is that when you go ahead and pass that along, you are admitting to yourself the thing that was already true, but you're just admitting the fact that you are not that person. So let's go ahead and deal with a concrete example. So let's say that, 5-10 years ago, you had your first baby, and we all have the dreams of the kind of mom we want to be. And you see all these moms on Instagram and Pinterest making these like absolutely beautiful birthday cakes. And you think, I want to make that for my kid. So you go online, you do all the research, you go to the craft store, and you buy all of these cake decorating supplies. And you think, I'm gonna do this. And maybe on the kid's first birthday, you try. But let me tell you from personal experience, it's one thing to watch a YouTube video of somebody decorating a beautiful cake. It's an entirely different thing to do it yourself. So maybe it didn't turn out the way you wanted. Maybe you really don't love doing it. Maybe you forced yourself on your kid's third birthday or something like that to make it. But really, you end up just asking a friend to do it or buying one from a bakery. And this cake decorating stuff has just sat in your kitchen year after year. And think about how it makes you feel. When you see that, do you feel good? Do you feel like, yes, I'm the kind of mom I want to be? Or do you feel bad, like, oh, I wish I were the mom that made beautiful cakes? Chances are it actually drags you down and makes you feel bad. Now, the truth is, if you bought that 10 years ago and you've used it twice, you aren't a mom who makes cakes for your kids. You just wish you were. So you're not changing anything by passing those things along. Instead, you're admitting what's already true. Actually, I'm not a mom who decorates cakes. And that's really hard. I think the first thing we need to do is try to detach emotion from the item. So try to not pass judgment on whether you are or you are not this type of person. In my personal opinion, if you want to decorate cakes for your kids' birthday parties, fantastic, please do it. If you enjoy it, I think that's great. If you absolutely hate it and wish to go to the bakery and buy cakes, that is also fantastic. There's no right and wrong. There's no good and bad. It's either you are or you aren't. So really try to get away from the judgment. And I know that's really hard because you just want to be those things. And it just brings all of these different emotions and thoughts into it. So that's the first thing I would say, is try not to pass judgment. Another thing is sometimes these are things that we used to be, that used to really fit into our lives. For me personally, when I was in high school, college, a little bit after college, I was really into making greeting cards. I bought from this company called Stampin' Up, and you would like take these rubber stamps and you would make these beautiful greeting cards. And I didn't just buy the stuff and collect it, like I really used it on a regular basis. I remember my roommate and she was really into it, and we would spend Saturday mornings stamping together and creating these cards. They were beautiful memories, and I really enjoyed it. As I moved on to different stages of life, got married, had kids, literally, I think I maybe touched it once a year. And honestly, that was more because I felt guilty about not using it. I spent more time organizing the stamping supplies and moving them from house to house than I did actually using them. So a few years ago, I realized I should probably let those go. And the reason it was so hard is I used to be a person who made tons of greeting cards and mailed them to people. I'm not that person anymore. And it was really hard for me to admit what was already true, that I'm not a person who makes greeting cards anymore. But I let those go. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions I made, because at that point, I didn't have to let the guilt weigh me down of not being a person who made greeting cards. I already declared that I wasn't. I already got rid of the stuff. I didn't have that constant reminder. And it's now about 10 years later, and I've gotten back into it a very little bit. Very, very less stuff, just a few. I've got the supplies to make a few different types of cards. Myself and my kids have done it. I love it. But had I held onto those things, they would be super dated. Like, they don't even make stamps that way anymore. There's new colors. All the ink pads would have been dried out. I wouldn't have even enjoyed it. So I didn't lose anything by passing that along. So I want you to just take a minute and think about what different types of aspirational clutter you may have. Like maybe it's uniforms for a sport you used to play. I think also either uniforms, clothing, or actual sports equipment really falls into this category, like an elliptical, a spin bike, a treadmill, those infomercially ab rollers. I mean, we've all done it thinking, oh, I'm gonna be the person who has beautiful abs because I use this thing 20 minutes a day. Whatever it is, maybe you did use it, maybe you didn't. But if it's not something that you're gonna use, you can pass those things along. Anything related to hobbies really fits into this category. So many of us have hobbies we wanna do. If there's also something related to like a business you wanted to start, like maybe you thought you would sell your cakes, or you would learn something new, like maybe you thought you would learn Chinese, or I had a dream for a while of learning Chinese. I actually bought the cassette, it was back in the day when they had cassette tape players in the cars, and I bought these and I used it like twice and I just stopped. Those kinds of things tend to be this type of aspirational clutter that we hang on to, that we need to let go of. So go ahead and let me know in the comments. I would love to know if you have any of this type of clutter you need to get rid of, and if you agree with me that it's actually harder than sentimental clutter. And also, I have lots of different decluttering videos on the channel. I'm gonna link to a playlist down below if you're feeling inspired to declutter, and if you really wanna take your decluttering to the next level, I wanna invite you to join us inside the Get Organized HQ Insiders. The doors are actually closing in just a few days if you're watching this live, and we're gonna tackle decluttering together in January. And it's gonna be really fun. You're gonna get extra support. We have awesome prizes to give away for anyone who completes the challenge. And you get lots of other things to help you make 2022 the year you get organized and decluttered.